Welcome to Bookwave, your go-to channel for thought-provoking books and audiobooks that challenge the status quo. Today, we're diving deep into a book that has become a manifesto for a generation. No Logo, No Space, No Choice, No Jobs by Naomi Klein. This book isn't just a critique of consumer culture. It's a powerful exploration of how brands have infiltrated every aspect of our lives and what that means for the future of work, freedom, and identity. Whether you're a seasoned activist, a curious consumer, or someone just starting to question the world around you, this is a must-listen. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Part 1. The Rise of the Super Brand. Imagine a world where brands are more than just products. They're cultural icons, influencing everything from what we wear to how we think. That's the world Naomi Klein describes in No Logo. The first section of the book is all about the rise of the super brand. Klein takes us on a journey through the evolution of branding, from simple logos to complex symbols of identity and lifestyle. But this isn't just about catchy slogans and flashy ads. It's about how corporations have shifted their focus from manufacturing to marketing, pouring billions into creating an image that resonates with consumers on a personal level. Brands like Nike, Apple, and Coca-Cola have mastered the art of selling not just shoes, gadgets, or drinks, but dreams, aspirations, and lifestyles. They've become synonymous with values like freedom, innovation, and rebellion. But what's the cost? Klein argues that this relentless branding has led to a world where the lines between commerce and culture are blurred, leaving us with a consumer landscape dominated by a few powerful players. As you listen, consider this. How much of your identity is shaped by the brands you choose? And what happens when those brands start to define the culture itself? Part 2. No Space, the Corporate Takeover. Next, Klein explores the idea of no space, where she delves into the omnipresence of corporate branding in public and private spaces. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to escape advertising? Whether you're scrolling through social media, watching a movie, or even walking down the street, brands are everywhere. Klein argues that this corporate takeover of space isn't just annoying, it's a deliberate strategy to crowd out independent voices and alternative ideas. She gives us vivid examples of how corporations have turned schools, universities, and even entire cities into branded environments where every surface is an opportunity for advertising. Think about it. How often do you see a public space free from logos or advertisements? In this section, Klein exposes the insidious ways brands infiltrate our lives, from sponsoring cultural events to plastering their logos on every available surface. The result? A world where our choices are increasingly shaped by the interests of a few giant corporations, leaving little room for anything else. As you listen to this part of the book, ask yourself, what spaces in your life have been taken over by brands? And more importantly, how does this affect the way you think and act? Part 3. No Choice, the Illusion of Freedom. In the third part of No Logo, Klein tackles the myth of consumer choice. We live in a world where it seems like we have endless options, different brands, styles, and products to choose from. But Klein argues that this variety is often an illusion. Beneath the surface, many of these choices are controlled by the same few companies. Through mergers, acquisitions, and strategic alliances, corporate giants have created a marketplace where real competition is scarce. Klein uses the example of the media industry, where a handful of corporations control the majority of what we watch, read, and listen to. This concentration of power doesn't just limit our choices as consumers, it also narrows the range of ideas and perspectives available to us. The illusion of choice masks a deeper reality, that our freedom is being slowly eroded by the consolidation of corporate power. As you listen to this section, think about the choices you make every day. How many of them are truly yours? And what can you do to reclaim your freedom in a world dominated by corporate interests? Part 4. No Jobs: The Human Cost of Globalization. The final section of No Logo is perhaps the most disturbing. Klein dives into the dark side of globalization, where the pursuit of profit leads to the exploitation of workers around the world. From sweatshops in Asia to precarious jobs in the West, she exposes the human cost of our consumer culture. Klein vividly describes the working conditions in factories that produce goods for some of the world's most famous brands. These workers, often women and children, endure long hours, low pay, and unsafe environments, all so that corporations can keep costs down and profits high. But it's not just workers in developing countries who suffer. Klein also highlights the rise of precarious employment in developed nations, where job security and benefits are becoming increasingly rare. As you listen to this section, remember, behind every product, there's a story. And sometimes, that story is one of exploitation and injustice. What can we do as consumers to support fair labor practices and hold corporations accountable for their actions? Conclusion: the power of resistance. But No Logo isn't just a book about what's wrong with the world, it's also a call to action. Klein ends with a message of hope, highlighting the power of grassroots movements to challenge corporate power and create change. From anti-sweatshop campaigns to culture jamming, she shows us that resistance is not only possible, but necessary. Klein encourages us to take back our spaces, our choices, and our jobs from the grip of corporate power. Whether it's by supporting local businesses, advocating for workers' rights, or simply being more conscious of the brands we support, each of us has the power to make a difference. As you finish this audiobook, ask yourself, what role will you play in this story? How can you use your power as a consumer, a worker, and a citizen to create a better world? Final thoughts. Thank you for joining us on Bookwave. No Logo, no space, no choice, no jobs is more than just a book. It's a movement. If this audiobook has inspired you to think differently about the world around you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Let's continue to explore, challenge, and change the world, one book at a time. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning.